show. We are live. I am your coach, Cynthia L. Robinson. Listen, you guys, we have a fabulous, fabulous show tonight. I am super, super hyped. Do me a favor. Do me a favor. Take a minute and invite someone to the show. Listen, this show tonight is going to be fabulous. When I tell you, this here is the show you want to be to. Are you in a relationship? If you have somebody that want to be in a relationship, if you know somebody that want love, need love, got love, want some more love, this is the show that you want to be to tonight, because we are going to be live and in charge tonight. We turning it up. We lighting the fire. We're going to steam it up a little bit more. So do me a favor. If you haven't done so already, take a minute and invite somebody to the show, because tonight is going to be everything. Okay. We got an expert here in the house tonight. So again, I am the coach, Cynthia L. Robinson. I am the visionary. I am the CEO of Plans of the Righteous. I am the CEO of the Real Talk Show. We are super excited and hyped about what's going on tonight. I'm going to bring our guest from behind the scenes. Come on, honey. Come on from behind the curtain.
What a wonderful introduction.
Listen, I told the people to bring their notebook and pad. I got mine. I can't come unless, listen, I'm taking notes tonight.
Well, no pressure, right? But I'm gonna bring
no pressure. Okay. So listen, I am super excited that you are here with us this evening. And do me a favor, take a minute and introduce yourself.
Well, thank you so much, Cynthia, for having me on the show. My name is Diona Conway. I am the love attraction expert. Also, an author, fiance, mommy of two, God's hands and feet on the earth. Can't leave that out. But my company is Love Coverage. It is a full service coaching company. So we do individual coaching, couples coaching. We're going to branch out into retreats, workshops. We're doing courses that we're launching in the next few weeks as well. So all things love.
All right. Listen, I am going to just tell you, I cannot wait, because tonight, I'm super hyped about this. Because
I feel your energy.
When we had our conversation, you have so much, to share. And I know our 30, 40 hour show is not going to be enough time. So they're definitely going to have to reconnect with you. However, but I was just so intrigued with what you brought to the table. When I tell you, she is the expert, you guys, and talking about God and the manifestation of a relationship and all of that is entail. I applaud you for all of that. So we're going to go ahead and get started, you guys. So tell us, what was it that led you into this industry?
Okay, so my entire life, there's an echo. You hear that?
Yeah, check your mic, and I just turned mine down. So
okay. There we go. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. So I've been pretty much coaching my entire life. When I think about it, I've always been giving advice. I've always had corporate jobs where I was responsible for teaching others, learning different methods, and them basing how they train around how I did things. So I've always been in a kind of coaching capacity. But around 2015, I decided to take an actual course so that I could be like a certified coach, actually get some technique behind my natural ability. So I took a course, became certified, and started my company, Love Coverage. my focus when I started was I really wanted to impact Black families.
Okay.
I saw that there was a lot of kind of divorces in the Black families, or
Mm-hmm.
people weren't getting married. So I really wanted to focus on premarital preparation, right? And I had this grand idea. I was going to support all these families and single-handedly help the Black community be married, right?
Okay.
And as I started with these couples, no one would get married after they would work with me. So I was like, God, I was feeling so defeated. Like, God, maybe I'm not supposed to be doing this. Like, nobody's getting married. And a friend of mine who actually was a specific like Christian coach,
Uh-huh.
she was like, no, oh, you're doing God's work out here. Those people weren't supposed to be married. You
Mm.
did them a favor. Do not think you are doing anything wrong. If they were going to get married and it was going to work, they would have done so. But doing the preparation before and them seeing they weren't compatible, they didn't have the solid foundation to get married, you saved them time, money, heartache. And I was like, oh, wow.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Let me keep at this, right? So then I just continued, and my business started to grow, and I was getting more than marital couples. I was getting like long-term married couples. I was getting singles who were looking for love. And at the same time, I was in an unhealthy marriage that was not fruitful, right?
Wow.
So at home, I'm kind of dealing with my own struggles, but I'm helping everyone else. Everyone else is flourishing. I'm saving marriages. People are finding love, but I'm internally dealing with, wait, this is not how love should be. This is not how marriage should be. And as a professional, I know this, but then just as an individual, as a human, as a woman, I feel it too. So,
Mm-hmm.
I just really start praying about it and really start going to God about this because I'm conflicted. God doesn't like divorce, right? I don't want to break up my family. But at the time, what was going on really just was not a healthy environment for anyone involved. And I always give the disclaimer that I'm really careful about how I discuss my marriage because it's private. I always want to be respectful of
Mm-hmm.
my soon to be ex-husband. We have 2 children together. So I'm never bashing him in any way. I'm just stating my position, which is we weren't meant to be forever. We were together for a time. There was some beautiful things that happened, but it was not suited. I didn't suit him. He didn't suit me. Right. So as I'm going through this and I'm learning about myself and God is really revealing to me what healthy transformational love is like. When you have
Yes.
love in your life and it just brings out the beauty, you start to see God in everything. When God is revealing this to me and I'm like, okay, I'm documenting my process. So
Mm-hmm.
journaling everything that I'm going through, all of the questions that I asked myself, all of the things that I learned. And that's really how I came up with this.
Wow.
It
Wow.
literally is my journey, like of healing myself, digging up all of that crap that was there, my
Mm-hmm.
unhealthy habits, realizing how I came up with my ideals about love that weren't healthy, that didn't make sense. And then, once you get rid of something, you got to replace it with something, right? So
Oh,
then God
yes.
started giving me the healthy things to replace it with.
Woo.
And as I did that, I came up with my ideal mate, my power partner, what that would look like, what I needed to be in order to attract that. And then I did.
Wow. Okay. So I want two things. I'm gonna stop you because you're going in there. You're leading us in there. But I want to slow us down a little bit.
Okay.
First and foremost, I want to applaud you for taking a moment to do that disclaimer.
Yep.
That shows what a powerhouse you are.
Thank you.
That shows the God inside of you.
Mm-hmm.
That shows that you are a big person and that you respect the marriage that you have and you respect him as a person.
Absolutely.
So there was love there. You guys probably just grew apart, or that there were things that took place there. And you said something that really hit home.
Mm-hmm.
You said you looked internally to see what you were dealing with, what your beliefs were that did not match up. And that's what happens so often when people get in relationships. You have one person that has a belief system and you have somebody else that has a totally different belief system. And you're trying to merge those two systems together. And sometimes it equates with lack of communication, lack of understanding. Can you share on that? I'm not speaking of your relationship. I'm speaking of from an expert.
Absolutely. I think there are two things that are absolutely necessary in order to achieve success in love. And they are accountability and alignment, right? Accountability has to come from both individuals about themselves. You have to be able to really look at yourself and confront some things that may not be pretty or nice to acknowledge, right? We know that we're all beautiful people. We all have like good things about us, and that's awesome. But through life, through your experience, sometimes to no fault of your own, it could just be how you were raised, the environment you were brought up in, what you saw that was normalized, that create these negative things. Yeah. And in order to move forward, you have to be able to address them. You have to be able to do that. And I believe that individually, people have to do that. And then when you come together, there needs to be an alignment. And that's one of the things that I realized was not present. We didn't have alignment in the areas that are necessary to build a lifelong partnership. And I mean, I see this all the time in a variety of women, ages, races, occupations, beliefs. They may meet someone that aligns with them right now. Right now. You could be looking to have fun. And the person you meet when you're looking to have fun might just be fun. They may not be the person that you should build a life with, but there's nothing wrong with them. They may serve a purpose while you're looking for fun.
Ooh, that's deep.
Thank you. Someone said powerful. Like, yes. I mean, if I had $1 for every time a woman was married to someone that they met at a very specific time where that person met a need, but no longer, like you outgrow people when you're not in alignment on the areas that you need to build a lifelong bond. You can be in alignment for a moment, for a season, for a time, but there's very specific things that you have to be in alignment on to go the distance. And we don't pay enough attention to that.
Most people get into a relationship and they think that love is enough. And you trying to say love is not enough?
I couldn't even hold that in anymore. Like, girl, The comedy in that is like, you know what? I'm going to say some controversial things, right? And I know that when I say them, they might strike some nerves. People might say, wow, because I'm going to really be contrary about a lot of the things that I'm saying, but I know them to be true. I've done the work myself. I've seen it in hundreds of couples. So this is not me just saying something for shock value. I really want women to start looking at love as the result of other things instead of what we're leading with. Stop thinking that you meet somebody and you instantly fall in love, or it's love at first sight, or it just happened. That's not true. That's lust. That's like these fleeting things that we feel, but it is not love. Love is cultivated. Love is built. It's very purposeful. It's not by chance. It's not by happenstance. I no longer believe in or encourage that at all.
Okay. So can you shed some light with the people as to when you say that it should be purposeful, it should be in alignment. Can you share with them a little bit as to what does that look like? What does that mean?
So I'll give some very tangible examples so that people can start looking at themselves and see where this aligns with themselves. They can put themselves in the situation, right? So any of my single moms out there, right? You have children, but you still desire to be a wife. You want to be married, but you're not with the children's father. That's not an option anymore. If you are looking to attract love, you need to be purposefully thinking about a man that values family. It can't just be someone who looks good. It can't just be someone who makes some money. You have children already. So what you need is a partner that wants a family, that wants to partner with you in raising your children. That is what I mean by purposeful. You look at your life and you look at where you're going and what you need, not what you want, because most of the time what we want has nothing to do with what is good for us at all. I want cookies every day. That doesn't help me get in my two-piece.
You're absolutely right. We got comments coming in. I'm going to post the comments up as we go through. She said you're speaking the truth, and this is real talk for real.
Yes.
And you know what? In that situation where you have a person that is looking for love, that don't understand what it means to attract the love. Meaning they are, they want the love, but they didn't grow up with that type of atmosphere. And I'm a firm believer, now, not then, now, I'm a firm believer of affirmation, manifestation, speaking things into existence. And you talked about speaking and attracting the type of person that you want to attract. And I believe that because of, we have that together, meaning, but I didn't always have that. I didn't grow up with that. I grew up with my parents in the house, both parents, loving parents, excellent parents. Somewhere along the line, I must have didn't listen or didn't pay attention somewhere along the line because I am not married. However, I am in a relationship, but I wanted someone like my dad.
Most women do.
I wanted someone like my dad. I was looking for that person to be like my dad. And I pretty much would say, you know, I actually would say, oh, no, my dad wouldn't do it like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
y'all seen that? She's giving me the eye, y'all. She's giving me the eye. So I guess
I'm
that
listening.
wasn't right, huh? I guess that wasn't
I'm listening.
right.
No, I think most women want some form of their dad, whether it is the wonderful things that they saw about their dad, that they want their partner to emulate. For some women, it's the opposite. They've seen how their dad was and they wished he was a certain way, so they want that. I think that that's a healthy thing, because dads are our first kind of experience with love from a male. So it makes perfect sense. What you may want to tweak a little bit is not putting that expectation of them being a carbon copy, though, to do things exactly as your dad would. I'm not sure how realistic that is. Would you want someone to want you to be a carbon copy of their mom?
Okay, y'all, she just gave it to me. Y'all see this is real talk. Oh Lord, we got somebody that's laughing out loud at me, okay? She put it to me gently, y'all. She did. She put it to me gently. That was a
But you know what?
gentle.
That brings me to a really good point. That I think could help for everyone listening. I know that you've probably heard people before say that they have like a list, right?
Mhm.
And some people have really been against that, like, oh, you shouldn't have a list. Like, I believe that you should have a list, but I think you need to have an understanding with how to create it and then what to do after. So that's the difference. When I knew that, my marriage was coming to an end, I was leaving that, and I still wanted to be open to attract love, I said, I'm going to put this list together, not because I wanted somebody right away, but I was processing all that I learned. And I wanted to now use that for a blueprint for my future. So I was kind of just putting it down and then leaving it, like not to think about it anymore. But what I would encourage people to do is be really, really, really specific and intentional about the list. I used to be very generic. Like at one point I said, oh, I just want a guy who's cute and he doesn't cheat on me. There's a lot of guys that meet that, right?
Right.
But that leaves it open for so many other things that I might not want, that I wasn't specific about.
Yeah.
So this time when I made a list, I was extremely specific. I mean, from the point that I used to say, oh, I want a man that believes in God. This time I said, I want a man who believes in God and governs his life by his relationship with God.
Woo! Woo! I love that.
Now that's very specific, and that is different. You're going to get different results. A man can believe in God and not follow.
That is so true.
But a man who believes in God and then governs his life according to his personal relationship, that's a man you can trust right there, because he's accountable to something higher than himself.
Yes.
And since I believe in God, that allows me to be able to submit because I know he's submitted to God.
Yes.
So that's what I mean by specific. I got really specific that time when I talked about, to me, being a provider was very important because my dad was a provider, right? And I saw that. I saw how he treated my mom. I saw the lifestyle we were able to live because my mom didn't have to work and she could be home with us. So I saw that and I'm like, you know what? Now that I have kids, I understand the importance of that. I didn't know before, but now I do. So this time around, I want a man who is more than okay. He's a provider. He pays all the bills happily. And I said happily. Because I'm like, I don't want him to begrudgingly do it. I don't want him to hold it over my head. I don't want to feel guilty about it. No, I want a man who shows up and this is what he does and he's happy about it.
Yes. Okay,
so these are the ways in which you need to be very specific. But this is also because I had done the work to know about myself. So I'm not just willy-nilly looking at other women and saying, oh, her man does this, I want that. Oh, that might be good. No, I did the work to learn what mattered to me. I learned what I wasn't as strong in. So if I wanted a partner, maybe they should be strong in that thing. What I valued the most so that I could prioritize. But I'll tell you what wasn't on my list. And you all need to make note of this because it's important. What wasn't on my list was what he looked like, how tall he was, his nationality, his age, none of that. It was all about characteristics, values, beliefs.
Okay.
That's it. That's all I focused on.
So the woman or the man, because this can go either or.
Yes,
the woman or the man that's married, that's currently in a relationship, that is struggling with their mate.
Yes.
There's still hope.
There is. There absolutely is still hope. With my love attraction journal, right? It was written from a place where I was still in a marriage. So anyone can use this. You don't have to be single. It literally is a way to just dig out everything within yourself. But then when it gets to the part where you talk about like your ideal mate, if you're already married, what I suggest, because I've had a lot of married women purchase my journal already, and this is what I've guided them to do. I want you to think about your husband, your mate, fellas, your wife. Think about her at her best, her absolute best. What would you like to see more of from her? This is your personal journey. So it doesn't matter. You don't have to worry about offending anybody. You don't have to share this. This can just be a personal thing between you and God, your creator. And just sit there and really visualize. If I had the perfect marriage, this is what my wife would be doing. This is what we would be experiencing. This is what our home would be like. This is how we would renew our romance. And it will do wonders because as soon as you start to put it down and you write it down, the Bible says it, write the vision, make it plain. As soon as you commit to that, you will notice your behaviors will change. If you know you have an ideal for your marriage, you'll start to do more things that line up with that thing. And once you start doing that, your mate is going to do one of two things. They're going to recognize it and get on board because there's improvement. Something is changing. Or they're going to be more of who they are now. And you may have to decide how that fits for you.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. And when you say the person that needs to do the work, the self-work, what does that entail? And I'm saying in the aspect of, do they include God in the process? How deep do they go to dig out these things so that they can work through them? And is it best for them to try to do this alone? Or do you suggest they go to someone like yourself or some type of therapy or something?
I'll tell you this. I believe that anything you set your mind to, if you involve God, you can do it alone. You absolutely can. However, I wish I had a me during that time. Because it took me about, I'll say probably a year and a half of the self-work, just me, because I didn't have anyone else. I didn't have anybody to talk to kind of see, hey, am I on the right track? Did you observe this about me? Like, it was all me. So sometimes it would take me weeks to really accept something that God brought to my mind. It would take me months to change something. Whereas if you get a coach, a mentor, something like that, you can speed up the process exponentially, because you'll have somebody that's also partnering with you that can observe your progress, and they can point out things that maybe you won't see. Like, that's why I'm a coach and I didn't go to school to be a therapist. Coaches observe. They sit back, they watch the game. The player is the one doing the work, though. They're out there. They have to practice. They have to put in the hours on the court, but they run over to the coach and the coach says, hey, every time you go to the left, this is what's happening. You might want to go to the right. And then the person tries it, and either it works for them or they figure something else out. The coach can say, hey, I've known you 5 years. You keep skipping practice, and that's why you miss these layups, or whatever it is. I'm using the sports analogy. I don't even know why. I don't even like sports like that. But it's just universal for people to understand, like, coach, think about it actually. Well, that's what a life or relationship coach does. They listen to you, they hear you out, and they are able to ask you the right questions to get you to figure things out on your own. And that's why you get lasting results, and they happen faster. So I would definitely recommend, if you can, make the investment and get a coach. You will get quicker results, and they'll probably be lasting, and they'll be deeper as well.
I agree. And you as a coach, and myself as a coach, we believe in having coaches.
Yes, absolutely.
We believe in having coaches.
So we're not just telling you to do this because we're coaches. We're telling you because there's actual value in it. And that's why we keep coaches. Exactly.
So, then I say, for the person that, so how to share with us how to manifest love that is fit for a queen. So we may have, hey, I'm a queen. Tell me how I need to manifest this love so that it's,
Absolutely. So I would say the way that I broke down the actual journal is what I recommend for the process. The beginning of the journal starts with you identifying why. So why do you want to attract love, right? And you got to get honest about it. Are you trying to fill a void? Are you just at that point in your life, you want to have kids? Are you, want someone to partner in your business? Do you want to travel and have somebody to share that with? Like, why? And why are you at this point where now you're like, I need some help with this? That's important. So you start with your why. Then the first section of the journal is literally about you, right? Nothing about a mate, nothing about a relationship. I ask you questions about your childhood, your beliefs about love, where they came from, your patterns, your dating patterns, your relationship patterns. And the awesome thing about the journal is all of these questions, they're the questions I asked myself, but they're the questions I would ask if you were actually doing coaching with me. So it's literally like self-coaching. These are the questions I would ask. So the only way you won't get helped is if you're not honest.
Whoa.
So, you got to be honest. You got to be transparent. You start from the beginning, right? Once you've started from the beginning and you kind of dig this stuff up, then you start thinking about, what kind of mate do I want, right? And we start describing like the king. What king do you want? For my men, what kind of queen do you want? And I ask all sorts of questions about that. What's the king's belief systems? How do they convey romance and keep romance alive? So all different areas of like a partner. Then after that, now that you've dug up your past, you know what kind of partner you want. What kind of partner does that partner need? Are you
some
it?
Good stuff.
Are you it? More than likely, no, you're not. Because if you were, you would have that. And these are things I said to myself. So I'm getting all in y'all business because this is what I had to do. I had to look at myself and say, hey, well, if I want a wealthy man that travels and just wants me to be beautiful and raise children and make a beautiful home, what does that mean? What does that man want from his wife? How do I align with that already naturally so that I can just praise myself for that and realize that and thank God that I have those natural things? And then what areas could I improve in? One of the things that, and this is, me being fully transparent with you all, I wanted a wealthy man, but I didn't have a wealthy mindset at the time. My finances weren't in order. So the nerve of me to want that, but had not even taken a look at myself to make sure that I could offer that. And let me be very clear, because I'm not saying that you have to exactly be what you want, but you do have to complement it. You do have to know how to handle it. So because I wanted, a wealthy man that was a provider and all of that, I knew that a man like that wouldn't want a woman who's a liability. He wouldn't want a woman who didn't know how to manage finances. I didn't have to have them all, but I needed to know how to manage them. So I spent time learning about abundance, tithing, making sure that I was being generous. I had the right heart for wealth, right? Because you have to be a good steward of that. God is only going to give you what you can manage well.
Yes.
So I made sure that I was in a position to manage that well. And that's just one example, but that's what you need to do next. Now you have to align yourself with what you want to attract. And then the final part is thinking about your life together. So envisioning, once you've done your work, you know what you want in that guy, and you attract that guy because you are that. What does that mean? What does your life look like together? How do you benefit his life by being his partner? How does he come into your life and completely level up your life? And what does that life look like? What does your home look like? Do you all vacation? Do you have date night once a week, once a month? These are the things that you should be envisioning so that that's what you attract, instead of attracting Tyrone because he looks good. Maybe he has money, but he don't do none of the things you want. So now you got to try to convince him and mold him and do all of these things. Whereas you could just do the work, set the intentions, attract a man that naturally comes like that, and then y'all can just live happily ever after.
Okay, so listen, with you going through your issues in your marriage, and you working with the people that, and you're seeing their lives being transformed. Take us into the space that you were in, seeing, okay, I'm transforming these people's lives. Well, I can't transform my own life. What do I need to do? Did you wind up saying, okay, the things that I'm teaching them, I need to start implementing in my own life?
Absolutely.
How did that look to you?
Absolutely. I went through like a period of depression at one point because I'm like, wait a second. I'm not dumb. Like, I'm smart and I know this. it's clear because I'm advising these other people and it's working.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, God has a funny way of teaching us lessons, right?
He's a character. He's truly a
One of
character.
the things that became very apparent to me in that situation was you need to always have a partner that is happy about your gifts. They celebrate your gifts. They feel blessed that they get to benefit from your gifts. My previous marriage, my gifts were not celebrated. They were almost it was like almost a downfall, almost like, I'm not one of your clients. I'm not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm like, I'm not trying to coach you, but I do know this works. We should try this together.
Right.
You know, but for whatever reason, that didn't work. So it's like I had to accept. For a while, I was like, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But then it's like God was showing me couple after couple after couple. Yes, you do know what you're talking about. You absolutely do. Look at all of these different people, different backgrounds, different stages in their marriage. I mean, I met people on the brink of divorce, people in the beginning, people in the middle, people just had babies, like all sorts of different scenarios. And the same principles was working over and over and over again. So I'm like, okay, it's not me, it's not the principles here. Like, and I had to accept it. Like, you know what? It's not celebrated here. It's not received. So you have to go inward. Stop trying to push it outward and go inward. And I actually took a step back and didn't take any new clients for a while. I just kept the ones that had been with me for some years. So like if I needed some time, I could tell them, hey, I'm not taking sessions this week. And they would understand. I didn't feel it was appropriate to do for new clients who I didn't really have the relationship with. So I just kind of fell back and started spending more and more time on myself and just accepting. It took me a long time to accept I didn't make the right choice. And now I have to make a new one. It took me a long time to be able to say that and not break down and not talk myself out of it and not reason it away and make excuses. I had to really be able to sit and say, accept, you made the wrong choice. Now you need to make a new one.
Okay. And that's respectable.
Yeah.
And I get what you're saying, because sometimes sometimes we make choices and we don't go to God about those choices.
Girl, those be the wrong ones. Those be the wrong ones. But you know what we do? We ask God to bless it though. And then we sit around and we wonder why 15 years later, you still, like, God never intended for you to be there in the first place. And I know that's not the popular thing for people to say. What they do is they repeat the rhetoric that God hates divorce. Well, how about God doesn't like when you don't consult him and make him a part of your marriage? Let's go there and say that. Let's pass that along. Let's tell women that. Ask God first.
Yes. And you know, it's so funny that we're having this conversation because I actually had a friend, have a friend that was going through some changes in her marriage. And the one thing that I say is we need to make God the CEO of our business and of our lives.
Hello.
And so in the midst of us having that conversation, I said, did you make him the CEO of your marriage? Did you choose, or did God tell you that he was the one? Or did you choose him to be the one?
Yep.
Because we make choices sometimes and we don't listen to what God is saying to us.
Absolutely.
And so it looks great for 10, 15 years.
Yep.
And then God will come back and say, well, I didn't tell you to do that anyway.
Absolutely. And that's what I experienced. I had recommitted my life to God. I had gotten baptized again. Like I was just on fire. And it's like everything in my life was going good except my marriage. But your marriage is like the central piece of your life.
Yeah.
If that's not good, it's hard to enjoy anything else, even if it's good. So it's like I had so many people from churches telling me, oh, God hates divorce. God hates divorce. Like that's all I kept hearing, some sort of variation of that. And it didn't matter what I told them was happening, what I told them about God not being consulted in the beginning. It didn't matter. They just were repeating that rhetoric. And it's like, that's when I went to God myself. Like, you know what? I got my own relationship with God. I'm going to ask them very specific questions. And I'm going to wait until God gives me the exact answers and I know it's God. And you know what? I don't care what it looks like to anyone else. I'm moving forward because I know it's of God. And that's exactly what happened. God told me when to leave, how to make it happen, everything. And when I did that, it was a smooth transition, maybe not for my ex. I will say that. I'm not to make light of it, but I just have to be honest. It wasn't smooth for everybody because everybody didn't want that. He wasn't at that place. He still wanted his marriage. But I had made my decision and I knew that I didn't have the strength to be around my soon to be ex at the time. I knew I had to be completely gone away or else I would keep trying. I knew that about myself. I had already experienced a few years of knowing it wasn't right, but continuing to keep trying. God bless this. God do this. I'm going to do this about me. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Trying to will it until I accepted it again. And God gave me the out. And as soon as I did, it's like God opened the floodgates of just blessing. Everything was restored. I'm talking about my peace. I looked the best I looked in years. I felt the best I felt in years. And then a few months later, here shows up my power partner. Amazing. I'm not looking at all. I'm doing nothing besides following God, focusing on my kids, and focusing on being the best me.
Amen.
Yes.
And that's how God works like that. He really does. And sometimes, even for me with writing the devotionals for the planner, God gives those to me.
Yeah, you told me that. I thought that was so awesome. Like how you can use a theme and everything.
He gives me everything. But the one thing that he has expressed to me is that you can't write about something until you've gone through it.
I always say I only teach what I live. That's how I have my covering with God. And that's why I can so confidently say I'm an expert in something. I'm not telling you I'm an expert in anything else, but this one thing, because that's what God has given me. That's what I'm anointed to do. So I walk in that and I only teach what I live.
Yes.
And that's the covering that I have because of that.
Yes. And that's one of the things that I love about our conversation. That conversation that we had was phenomenal. Yes. And for the person that has been in a relationship that is not working, can you explain how they can learn from that relationship that did not work so that they can grow and be open for something new?
Yep. I would recommend what I call a relationship autopsy.
Ooh.
It didn't work, right? So the
Mhm.
relationship is dead. What was the cause of death? What was the cause? And here again is where you got to get real. You got to get real, because I can bet money that whatever broke you up was there in the beginning. It didn't develop. It's not a new nuance that you can't handle. It's always the buildup of things over time that you're like, I'm done with this. So when something ends, I always tell people, look at the beginning. What irritated you? What did you look at and you're like, I could do without that, but I'm going to look past it.
Mhm.
What situations occurred that caused strife or misalignment in the beginning? Those are those red flags that instead of heeding to them, we collect them. We just keep collecting them. It's like, no, learn from the experience, because if you don't, you're going to date that person again in someone else.
Ooh.
And you know what'll happen? It'll hurt you more the next time.
Because you're repeating the cycle.
Because you're repeating the cycle. And I truly believe, like, I know that we like to paint God and we talk about God in all the beautiful ways, and that is true. But if you think about God in terms of like parent-child relationship, you know, at certain points, you got to get tough with your kids.
Yes.
You can't be nice about it. You can't shelter the fall, cushion the fall for them. Nah, you got to let them fall on their face, scruff it up, have to walk around looking ugly for them to get it. And it's like, that's what happens with the relationship patterns. God will let you see some things. He'll put them right in front of your face and we'll walk right past it and go to the same thing over and over again. But each time it gets worse, you get hurt more. That scar gets like dug a little bit more, that you have to do even more work to get out of it.
Yes.
So that's what I would recommend. If you went through a relationship, it didn't work, and now you're trying to figure out how to move forward, before you rush into dating again, before you like try to meet that other person, take a good hard look. Why didn't this work? And in addition, don't just look at the other person. Look at what you contributed. And sometimes all you contributed was allowance. You allowed something that you shouldn't have. And that's okay too. As long as you can just be real with yourself about it. You can't change what you don't acknowledge. So you got to do that, or you're going to just keep living this over and over again and not getting to that abundant transformational love that God actually desires for you to experience.
Yes. Amen. And so for the person that is walking into a blended relationship, we are
because I got one of those.
Okay. So give them some tips.
Yes.
For walking into that blended relationship.
So I know that it's kind of taboo to talk about like traditional things and like gender roles, right? And I am a mixture. I value tradition, but I also love the progression for women in careers and businesses and things like that. So I teeter that line, right? But I think when you're moving into like dating again, and you're a woman that has kids and you're looking to blend your family, I think it's very important for you to have a separation. Meaning there's a time where it's just you and your kids. You are giving them attention. They get you fully. They don't share you. And you can have time to talk with them about your transition, whether it's the ending with their, other parent, or the ending of another relationship that they witnessed and were a part of. Give them time as well to share their feelings about it, and for them to just have you for some time, because they've already just, shared you and just had to go through that.
Mm-hmm.
Once you start dating, this is me personally, I don't recommend you even blending anything while you're dating. I believe you don't even introduce anything until there is intent for long-term marriage. If you don't believe in marriage, but you do believe in long-term, that's why I'm saying that. Everybody's beliefs are different. For me, it was marriage.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even introduce my kids to my now fiance until he proposed. He knew they existed. He knew what type of mother I was. He got to hear conversations, but they did not see him. They weren't aware of him. Nothing. You don't need to meet anyone that is not going to play a role in your life long term.
I love that.
That's what I believe.
That. I love that because I am that mother that I don't believe that you should have everybody over your kids. Your kids should not see different people coming in and out of your life. That's my personal opinion. You know, other people may have their own, beliefs about that, but my personal opinion is I'm a firm believer that I don't believe that you should have all different people coming around your kids.
And, for the women that have, it's not a judgment, right? I'm not judging anyone for what they're doing, but let me just give you a few things to think about, right? It's hard enough for you to deal with relationships beginning and ending, right? And it was your relationship. Imagine a child that does not have the maturity to understand people coming and going, relationships beginning and ending. You are adding another level of difficulty, another layer of difficulty for yourself and your children. So the reason why I recommend this is because it saves you a lot of frustration, a lot of explanations, a lot of additional conversations, and in some cases, heartbreak. What if you introduce them to somebody and they really mesh well with your kids?
Mm-hmm.
And now there's that awkward thing that the person may still want to be involved. And then you got this weird situation when you meet your power partner and they're like, what you mean? Mike got to go hang out with Tyrone because they got a bond because y'all dated 2 years ago. So it just doesn't make sense. So I'm not saying don't date. I believe you should date, but just do it in a way your children don't have to be involved. Mommy's going out to have fun. They don't need to know all of that stuff. Mommy's going to have adult time. That's what I used to tell my kids. Mommy's with you guys all week. On Saturday, mommy takes a couple of hours to go have mommy time. And they got used to that. And then when they met my fiance, it's mommy and such time. And they understand that. You walk them into it and you let it build naturally. So once you do have someone and you're trying to blend, that's the next thing I recommend, that you do it in a way that it's natural. You don't force things on them. When you introduce them at first, it's in a very playful, this is my friend. I want everyone to meet my friend. And you do things in a neutral place, a place where you can just have fun. There's nothing romantic about it. You're not showing them that this is a romantic partner. It is a friend. And you let them just meet this person as a friend, where they can just see how they are as a person. You guys can laugh, have a good time, and there's no pressure.
Yes.
And that's what you do for a while. You do that. And then once you're very clear, okay, we're getting married, we're moving in, we're doing whatever. Then you start to, this is mommy's best friend. I really like them. You like how they treat mommy, and you involve them in the process, but you do it at the pace they are at, not you want. And
I love it. Oh my gosh. I love it. And we are at the 8 o'clock hour, but I have one more question. And then we're out of here, okay? You guys, if you have any more questions, y'all gonna have to we're gonna have to invite her back to come to the show, to the Real Talk show. This has been Real Talk. Now, for the person that is of age.
What's of age?
They're older.
They're more mature.
They're more mature.
Okay.
They are not as acceptable as to running out there being in another relationship.
Yeah.
And they're very guarded. Mm-hmm. So what do you tell those people?
Well, I tell them that you need to think about how you want to spend your latter days, which are supposed to be your best ones, right? Instead of looking at like, oh, I'm up in age, you should look at it like, oh, I got so much experience. Oh, I've seen so much. And now I can really enjoy life because it doesn't take me long to recognize a good thing. It doesn't take me long to know when something's not worth my time. You are in the best position. In my opinion, you're in the best position. You've probably raised your children at this point, or, you kind of have your grandkids at this point. You've probably had a career already and either retired or in your second one, maybe doing something that you like as a hobby. This is the perfect time to share your life with someone, and you deserve that. You deserve to be able to make these lasting memories, to enjoy travel, to enjoy new hobbies, new experiences. So get out of your own way. Don't think that it's too late or you're too old. That's not true at all. Look around you. There are so many people getting married for the first time in their later years. Some people second and third time. So don't worry about that. There's someone out there. Get out of your own way. Realize your strengths, and then just be intentional. What do you want? You want an outdoorsy guy? You're not meeting him in your living room. You want a guy who likes to travel? Go take a trip. Meet somebody on the trip. You want a man of God? Get into a group where you do Bible study. You put yourself in these areas where what you want is.
I love it. I love it. All of my single friends, y'all got y'all answer. She opened up and she shared everything with you guys. I'm going to actually put your information here to scroll across the screen.
Awesome.
I'm telling you, this was amazing, amazing, amazing show. As the information is scrolling across the bottom, can you do me a favor and tell the people how they can contact you, get in contact with you, and order their book? They need to order their planner.
Yes, okay? Absolutely. So whether you are single and looking to attract your power partner, whether you're in a long-term relationship or a marriage and you just want to spice it up, maybe you want to experience deeper levels of love. Or if you're a single and you don't want to mate yet and you just want to do the work on yourself and be able to experience a greater level of self-worth and self-love, get your journal. Manifest in Love, Fit for a Queen. Kings, you can use it as well. Just, put queen where it says king, make the adjustment till I have your version. You can get one now, but you can go to destinationdiona.com and you can purchase your journal. And actually, I have a special discount right now. Today was Armed Forces Day, and I'm going to be a future military spouse. So I definitely wanted to honor those who have served and protected us. So there is 20% off of the entire site. So that's my coaching, that's my courses, that's my journal. And it's only until tomorrow. So go to destinationdiona.com. Make sure you make a purchase, take advantage of that discount because we're celebrating Armed Forces Day. Feel free to message me if you have any questions or would like to look into a course or coaching with me. I'd love to assist you on your journey.
Yes. I love it. I have information scrolling. I also put in at the bottom for them to get the 20% off. And it's
Yes.
only until tomorrow. You guys take advantage of this. I'm telling you, it's going to be amazing. I got to get my copy.
Mhm.
Okay. And we got to go.
Yeah.
Y'all, this is concluding the show. Thank you so much for coming on the Real Talk Show. This was Real Talk.
Thank
And
you.
I really enjoyed every bit of it. We got beautiful comments, love it, good information. Somebody actually said, tell her. They said preach. Okay.
Yes.
So you had some excellent comments, and I just want to say thank you for coming on the Real
for
Talk
having
Show.
me. I had a good time. Thank you so much.
I really enjoyed it. And listen, you guys, if you haven't done so already, we have launched our group coaching program again, and you guys can definitely register for the group coaching, which is our P2S, Prepare to Succeed group coaching program. The information is on the bottom of the screen. And guess what? You guys asked, and we have created the Legacy Academy is now in full effect. You guys can register. It will be dropped in the comments, so you guys can just click on the link and go ahead and register to join our Legacy Academy. And again, we look forward to assisting you guys with your next level of your business and taking your business to the next level for you to profit and streamline multiple lines of income. Okay, so we gotta go tonight. Thank you again, Deona, for being on the show. You're going to have to come back. We're going to have to do a round table or something.
Yes.
This Saturday, next Friday, we actually, the Plans of the Righteous group, we're having a women's Bible study. It's a pajama party.
Oh, cool.
We're having a women's pajama party. It's a virtual pajama party, but that is coming up, and it's gathered from the book of Proverbs.
Oh, my favorite book.
I knew you would enjoy that. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Send me the information. I'll see if I'm available.
Okay, I will definitely do that. So you guys, we gotta go. We're gonna tell you guys good night again. You guys, her information, connect with her. I'm gonna drop it in the link. You guys definitely, you want to be a part of it. Order your planner, order your book, and get connected with her. As you can see, she is a powerhouse. And listen, I'm going to start manifesting my stuff, okay? I got to attract what I want and get what I've got to have, okay? Love is in the air.
Yes,
from
it
the
is.
love expert, the love attraction expert. So we got to go. Love you guys. Good night. We'll see you guys next week.